Did you know you can cruise to the depths of the Amazon, to the white sand beaches of Southeast Asia, in fact all the way down under from the UK without even stepping onto an aeroplane? Sound interesting? Keep watching Planet Cruise Weekly. Hello and welcome to episode 29 of Planet Cruise Weekly. Thank you first of all to you viewers for tuning in, and thank you to Jade for once again joining me here in the studio at Planet Cruise.
Nice to be back.
Well, it's great, you know, it's great to have you back here. And again, lots of lovely comments about your feedback and contributions so far. And today we're talking about no-fly cruising, the many different places we can get to from the UK. Now, what are some of the benefits?
Yeah, there's so many benefits, Keith. Things like, first of all, no lengthy security checks.
Oh, like you get at the airport.
And also, car parks at almost every port makes it really convenient for getting there.
And on that point as well, I believe that Planet Cruise quite often will throw in kind of free parking opportunities as well when you are cruising from the UK.
Yeah, definitely worth asking us, because there's lots of things we can do to help you out with that. Yeah.
And there's also better things for luggage as well. I know this is a big thing close to your heart, isn't there?
For the ladies, they like to pack lots of shoes and handbags for the formal nights, so you can take as much luggage as you can carry. And it's also good for people with mobility issues.
Yeah, now this is great, particularly if you are somebody who finds it harder to get around. Maybe you want to take a mobility scooter on board. If that's the case, then you're far more likely to be able to do that when you do cruise out of the UK, but do check with the ship before you get on, because it's different for every particular ship. And then beyond that as well, for families, you know, having less time to travel to get to that destination means it's going to be a lot easier for keeping the kids entertained rather than those long flights. And on top of that, there's less opportunity for it to possibly get the flight to get cancelled, which could affect your cruise. Okay, so again, really positive if you just had that one journey to make from the port out to sea. Now, it's no surprise to know that in fact the number of people cruising from the UK is actually on the rise. We did some checking on figures from Clear, who are one of the great registered cruise bodies, and they told us that last year 840,000 people in total cruised out of the UK. That was up 12% on the year before. Now, how today's show is going to work, it's quite simple. We're going to go through the major UK cruise ports that you can sail out of. So if you're watching this just for the information on a particular port, just check the description at the bottom of the video and there'll be a link for the port that you want. So click on that link and it can take you straight there. Okay, so the first port that we're going to look at is probably the undisputed queen of the UK cruise ports, and that's Southampton. An incredible destination. 4 different passenger terminals actually wrapped up into one. You've got QE2, Ocean, City, and of course the famous Mayflower. Now, it's not a particularly scenic port, but the sail out as you head towards the Isle of Wight, and if you're lucky, turn right past the Needles. It is really stunning. And of course, you've got lots to do if you decide to do a pre or post-cruise stay. You can go and explore Salisbury, the cathedral city. You can go out and explore the New Forest, which is absolutely stunning. Which lines currently go out of there?
So you've got cruise lines such as P&O Cruises, Cunard and Fred Olsen. They base their ships here all year round, while Princess Cruises, Royal Caribbean, Carnival and Celebrity, and also Saga sail from this port mostly during the summer months. You will also find other lines, including Silversea, Regent, Seven Seas Cruises and Oceania. They sail from here more occasionally from Southampton, so you've got quite a lot of choice going from Southampton.
You do, and of course you can go from Southampton to pretty much all over the world. A lot of the world cruises depart from here, particularly companies like Cunard and P&O, so you can head out, you know, really down under and out to South Africa and Southeast Asia and beyond. But then you've also got nearer destinations like Northern Europe and the fjords, the Mediterranean, or even doing that classic crossing of the Atlantic over to New York. Now, if people want to find Southampton, how easy is it to get to from parts of the UK?
It's really accessible actually, Keith. As it goes, you've got really good road networks, so the M3 motorway is just connected to Southampton. You've got really good rail connections. The station is about 5 minutes. Also, if you are driving down, you've got the opportunity to have an overnight stay in the Meon Valley. So that when you come down to your cruise, you don't have to rush down on the day. You can come down the day before, spend a night in the hotel, and they actually transfer you to the port the following day.
Big bonus about that, of course, is you get your parking as well. Dover is our next port of call, and you know about those legendary White Cliffs. They're a great place to sail from. It's also a great port because it's the gateway through to Kent, the Garden of England. Great chance to go and explore maybe Canterbury, the historic cathedral, through to Leeds Castle, even Dover Castle, and of course Tunbridge Wells as well. So lots to do if you are going to do a pre or post stay. Now, cruise lines that are heading out of Dover, because it's becoming slightly more popular, isn't it?
That's right, Keith. You've got cruise lines such as Fred Olsen and Saga offering several departures from Dover. You'll also find others that sail here include Princess Cruises, Disney Cruise Lines and Voyages to Antiquity. You've got Oceania, you've got Seabourn, which are sailing mainly to the Channel ports. You've also got all of the cruise lines offering various destinations such as Scandinavia, Baltics, although some of them are one-off sailings where you can go a little bit further afield from Dover. So places like the Mediterranean.
Cool. Okay, so access-wise to get to Dover, it's easily reached by roads at the end of the M2 and also the M20 motorways. And by rail, just go to Dover Priory, and it's about a 5-minute drive then, or a 30-minute walk if you're feeling really healthy from the cruise terminal.
So next port of call, Keith, is Harwich.
Love Harwich.
And this Essex coastal town's seafaring routes date back to the 12th century. It's long been one of the UK's key deep water ports. While the town has got a scattering of historic buildings and museums for visitors to go and see, one of its main draws is the beautiful Essex countryside, which was made famous by artists such as John Constable. You can also alternatively visit the Roman town of Colchester or travel further afield to the dreamy spires of Cambridge.
Yeah, it's a fantastic place, Harwich, it really, really is. And the great thing is you've got quite a few cruise lines that go in there and use it now. Fred Olsen, for instance, Voyages of Discovery, Viking Ocean Cruises, they all give you departures out of Harwich. And destinations mainly include, of course, Scandinavia through to the Baltic, definitely, of course, the Norwegian fjords, sometimes through to the British Isles, and even into the Iberian Peninsula. So again, lots of different options. Again, it's good for access. It is on the eastern side of the country, and it's accessed by the A120 and the A12. And there's a railway station actually within the port, which is, I think it's the only port in the UK that has a railway station, but I challenge you to get in contact if it's not. So literally, when you get off the train, you literally 2 minutes walk from stepping onto your ship. So it's really, really good if you do have mobility issues. In at number 4, it's Portsmouth, where we come from, Planet Cruise. So if you are in the area and you're coming down to cruise from here, do pop in and see us, and you can come and have a cup of tea with Jade. She might even offer you a biscuit to dunk in your tea. There we go. Now, Portsmouth, a wonderful historic dockyard that you can kind of walk around. Then you've got the links there with Henry VIII's Mary Rose, and you've also got a chance, of course, to go and see HMS Victory as well, which is quite incredible and well worth a trip. So lots and lots to do if you do want to have a pre or post cruise stay. Now, which ships cruise out of Portsmouth?
There's a few, Keith. So you've got Swan Hellenic, which bases their ship the Minerva here for summer departures, while sister company Voyages of Discovery offer early summer sailings. You've also got Crystal Cruises, and you can sail to various destinations such as the Med, Baltic, Scandinavia, and around Britain, obviously Channel Islands, and some of the kind of France and Spain, Azores, a little bit further afield there. Accessible
from a variety of different ways, down the motorway 275, I believe, isn't it, the A3?
Yeah.
And how about train?
Yeah, they've got Portsmouth and Southsea train station and Portsmouth Harbour, which is literally a 5-minute taxi journey from the station, and regular trains coming in and out of there. So really, really accessible for Portsmouth. So the next port of call we're going to talk about is Tilbury, and the container port in Essex, let's just be honest, it's not the most attractive of ports, is it, Keith?
It's not.
But there's a faded charm about this particular port. The terminal building is actually a Grade 2 listed Victorian building. So the main thing to mention, it's got its own little charm, but the main thing is convenience. It offers easy access from London.
It does, which again is great if you're wanting to tap on that pre or post cruise stay, because you could go and visit our wonderful capital and see all the wonderful sights that it has to offer before embarking on your cruise, as it's only just a short journey. Now, the cruise ships that are heading out from Tilbury, and again it is an ever increasing number, it's becoming more and more popular. You've got people like Cruise and Maritime that go out of there an awful lot. Fred Olsen also cruise out of Tilbury quite often, and Crystal Cruises also go from London all the way to Lisbon with sailings as well. So other places they go to, you've got Northern Europe, you've got the Round Britain cruises, you've got the Canary Islands, the Amazon, the Caribbean, Australia, the Arctic, the Baltic, the Mediterranean. Quite a good hefty list of places that you can get to from the heart of London. Now, access-wise,
it's easily accessible from London, like we mentioned before, so it's located just 7 miles off the M25, so close to the Dartford crossing. Tilbury Town Station has regular services in and out of London, but you will need to get a taxi from the train station to the port.
Okay, next up we're going to talk about Liverpool, my former home, and in fact the former main port really to cruise out of the UK. It really was for years, and one of the most, if not the most, scenic ports to sail out of, because you're right in the heart of the city, opposite the Three Graces, opposite the Liver building, and you've got so much to see around you. It's incredible. Lots to do here. You can head through and you can go through to the Cabin Club and see where the Beatles kind of really developed and came from. You can go and explore the Albert Docks. You can go further afield out to the city of Chester, go and explore Anfield if you're a football fan, or even head into the Lake District. So literally loads to do from this historic port of call. Now, which cruise ships currently cruise out of Liverpool, Jade?
So you'll find Fred Olsen Cruise Lines offers the most departures from here, but you've also got closely followed by cruise and maritime voyages. You can do sailings to the Canary Islands, to the Mediterranean, Norwegian fjords, even Canada, North America and Bermuda.
Easy for you to say.
Not forgetting Ireland, of course. And it's really, really accessible. I disembarked in Liverpool last year, and it's just a 5-minute taxi journey away from the train station.
It's one of the few places actually you can walk to your ship from a train station.
So Bristol Avonmouth is another port of call you could travel from, Keith, and this West Country departure point is gaining a lot of popularity amongst cruisers, particularly as it's the most centrally located port in the UK.
So cruise and maritime voyage out of there an awful lot. You've also got opportunities to sail out to go to places like the Canary Islands, Dublin, Norway, the British Isles, the Azores, the Faroe Islands, Brazil and the Caribbean. Great access because it's right off the M4 and also the M5 motorways, and you've also got Bristol Temple Mead train station and also Bristol Parkway station, both within 10 miles. There's also a railway service to Avonmouth station itself, which is only 3 miles from the cruise terminal. But be warned, there's no taxi rank and walking's not permitted through the dock area, so you do need to pre-book your taxi if you are going to choose to go by train.
And I've been to Bristol myself. It's got a great shopping centre. There's lots of things to do as well. Also Bath is nearby, very famous for the Roman baths. And you can also visit places such as the Cotswolds, Stonehenge, and also day trips to Stratford-upon-Avon are possible as well.
Which is great if you want to go and experience some Shakespeare from the original place that he originated from. I've said original a lot there. So next up we have the Port of Tyne in Newcastle. It's a great place and it gives you great access because you can actually from here explore Northumberland. You can go out to Alnwick Castle, which of course was famously Hogwarts in the Harry Potter films. A magical place to go and visit. You can also head out to Hadrian's Wall. You can head through to Durham, which has got its roots back in the Viking times. Now, the companies that are sailing currently out of the Port of Tyne, I believe, are...
So you've got Fred Olsen Cruise Lines and Cruise and Maritime. They sail out of Newcastle, but long awaited and back are Thompson Cruises. General ports of call you can travel to from Newcastle are places such as Norwegian fjords, the Arctic Circle, Baltic, Canary Islands, obviously British Isles cruises and the Iberian Peninsula. And of course Iceland, so lots of places you can go to.
Now access wise, the port is around about 8 miles from the city centre, but the nearest train centre or train station is actually Central Station, which is 20 minutes in a taxi. So you've got different options. You either take that taxi or you take the metro. Be warned though, if you do take the metro, that the nearest metro station is Percy Main, and it's a good 15 minutes walk from the train station and another 20-minute walk from where they drop you off to get to the port. So my advice is stick with the taxi. So, Scotland, Edinburgh, beautiful part of the world, absolutely love it, and it's actually got 2, would you believe, cruise ports. Now it's got Rosyth, which is smaller, slightly further out, but a lot more scenic, and Fred Olsen tend to cruise out of there an awful lot, so you will see that feature. However, the one that's mainly used is Leith, which is slightly closer to the city centre, and that's the one we're going to talk about today. It's generally regarded as Scotland's flagship port. It's located on the Firth of Forth, on the southern shore, and it shares its home, amazingly, with the decommissioned Royal Yacht Britannia, so there's something you can do as an early afternoon treat. Now, of course, Edinburgh is on your front doorstep. If you're lucky enough to be there during the festival, what are you waiting for? Go and enjoy it. And then you also have a chance to head out into the county of Fife. You've got those beautiful pretty fishing villages, you've got Stirling Castle, and of course the ancestral home of golf, St Andrews. Now who cruises out of Leith?
Cruise lines such as Cruise and Maritime Voyages, Windstar Cruises, Silver Sea and Azamara Club Cruises. So lots of choice there, and you're sailing to places like Scandinavia, Iceland, the Scottish Isles, the Faroes and also the Baltic.
Now it's got good accessibility. By road you can use the M8 or the A1. The nearest train station is Edinburgh Waverley, which is a short taxi ride away. So again, great accessibility if you do want to leave from the port of Leith. Next up in Scotland, we're talking about Greenock, which is located on the Clyde Estuary. It's the port for Glasgow and it's the gateway to Scotland's west coast. Now, a town is only a few minutes walk literally from the ocean terminal, which is really, really convenient, while Glasgow itself is about 35 minutes away. But you know what? The surrounding region is dotted with golf courses, with whisky distilleries, with amazing castles and that legendary Burns country. Now, which cruise lines go out of Greenock?
So you'll find Fred Olsen Cruise Lines go out of Greenock. You've also got Hebridean Island Cruises, Silver Seas Cruises, cruise and maritime voyages, and you can do sailings to the Hebrides, Orkney Islands, Shetland Islands, Scandinavia, even Canada, Portugal and the Azores, so lots of places you can go to.
Now, great access of course with Glasgow, is quite centrally located, 24 miles away from the M8, while trains run from the city through to Greenock Central Station, which again is a short taxi ride or even a 15-minute walk to the terminal if you're feeling particularly healthy, you don't have too much luggage or you've got it on wheels. Well, we hope that's giving you a little bit of a more understanding about the number of options that are open to you if you do want to cruise out of the UK and not have to go via the hassle of using a plane and flying. There are so many different options out there, and again there are other ports that we wanted to mention, like Falmouth for instance, which we just haven't had time to put in. But do get in touch if you feel there's anything you'd like to add or anything you'd like to see us cover in the future. Now, we want to say thank you to people that of course do get in touch every week. If people do want to get in touch and if they're watching the show for the first time, Jade, how do they contact us?
So you can email us at hello@planetcruise.co.uk. You can contact us on Facebook, Twitter, or even leave a post on the YouTube video today.
Please do, please do. We'd love to hear your feedback and comments. We want to say thank you to these people that got in touch over last week's episode, which of course, if you haven't seen it yet, was Family Cruising. Go back and watch it. Sonia Davidson, she said, long time no chat. Team, just wanted to let you know that we're booked on Oceania Cruises Riviera in October, and we're going to do a concierge class. So thanks very much to Planet Cruise. So Sonia, thank you very much. And then also Matty, young chap with his own young family, big Royal Caribbean fan, Matty, and he said, awesome as always, great insight into family cruising and the companies. Thank you so much for making it a little bit clearer. So thanks to you, Matty, again for getting in touch. Well, thank you very much for watching. Please do get in touch. And are you back with us again, Jade, next week, or are we going to be missing you?
Maybe you'll have Glenn back.
Oh well.